I also object to the unanimous consent request. While the sponsor says that it is aimed at bailouts, no one is seeking a bailout that I know of from the communities that would be impacted. And despite the stated intention, the effect of this bill is to endanger the financial health of hundreds of cities and counties in every corner of this country. It would weaken the safety and the security of countless Americans who call those communities home. I don't know of anyone seeking a bailout, but yet bailouts is the word that is used frequently here by the sponsor of this legislation. The definition, what is the definition? Communities at risk of defaulting. Hundreds and hundreds of communities are, quote, at risk of defaulting. It's unclear what that means, but the strains on local governments in the last few years, particularly following the financial crisis that we have, are real. And to say that any community, city, state for that matter, that is in risk of defaulting then is to be challenged in terms of getting regular support from the federal government. This is not limited to loans. This bill affects grants as well as loans. In the words of the bill, grants and aid would be prevented. All sorts of federal funding, in other words, beside those kind of actions of the federal government involving credit or reliance on credit of the donor for repayment. Now, the Congressional Research Service says that this, again, applies not just to loans but to grants as well. Why in heaven's name struggling communities, whether it's my hometown of Detroit or any other community in this country, would be denied the ability to seek grants, not loans, because it's not limited to loans, but grants, is beyond me. This bill goes way beyond the bailouts that no one is seeking, and it would have a severe impact on cities and towns across the country. Standard & Poor's lists more than 250 securities offered by Louisiana municipalities that are below investment grade. That's just one state. That's 250 communities in one state whose securities are below investment grade, presumably meaning there's a significant credit risk in those communities. Are those communities then, under this bill, not going to be eligible to seek regular grants? I'm afraid so, and that's not just me saying it. That, again, is the CRS. Finally, Senator Stabenow has made reference to a letter that we've received from the National League of Cities, National Association of Counties, United States Conference of Mayors, and others opposing this legislation because it goes way beyond its stated purpose of preventing bailouts. Again, my town, and I don't know of any town, but my town hasn't asked for a bailout. I'm proud to have been living in Detroit all my life. It doesn't need this kind of legislation poking at it to stop something from going to Detroit, which it hasn't applied for. And so I know this legislation was introduced before this recent bankruptcy bankruptcy application on the part of the city of Detroit, but nonetheless, in this context, in this moment, to be seeking unanimous consent to pass legislation, apparently without even a hearing, it seems to me beyond the pale. And so I oppose this proposal as a lifelong resident of Detroit, but way beyond. I oppose it because thousands of municipalities that have suffered in the aftermath of the recent recession would be negatively affected. Our residents, our employees, their employees, and retirees around the country deserve better. I yield the floor.